Hey guys, Aaron Dorr here with Iowa Gun Owners. Session is underway. The gavel dropped earlier today. And guys, it's going to be a big year in our fight for gun rights. We have to address the issue of SAPA. We got to ban red flag laws, and we must beef up our stand your ground law, guys. A lot going on. Watch the video for all the facts, all the information, all the action links, and join us in this fight in 2023. Hey guys, Aaron Dorr here with Iowa Gun Owners. I'm sure you've all heard the news now. Session is officially underway here in Des Moines. That means our fight for gun rights is going into high gear. And guys, we're going to talk tonight about what are the priorities for gun owners in 2023 and kind of where things stand right now on these various bills. At the end of the video, guys, as always, we're going to have action links for you guys to get involved in the fight, to make sure your state rep and state senator know what you expect of them this year in Des Moines. And guys, when you're done watching this broadcast, whatever else you do, hit those links, take action, and then share our video so everyone else who cares about gun rights here in Iowa knows where things stand here in Des Moines. So the background here is one of victory. The elections were phenomenal for gun owners, at least here in Iowa. Cindy Axne got the boot. The Freedom Amendment was overwhelmingly supported by Iowans. Governor Reynolds reelected by a wide margin. And so the gun voters in Iowa, IGO members, sent one heck of a message. And that message was heard loud and clear because you didn't just, like I said, win a congressional race. We didn't just secure Governor Reynolds' reelection. We didn't just get the Freedom Amendment. We got them all in a huge margin. So now it's time to press the advantage. When it comes to our fight for gun rights, there's no neutral. There's just no neutral. We're either gaining ground or we're losing ground. And so right now we're in a strong position and we want to press ahead in a major way. We're going to begin this session with our primary bill, which is the Second Amendment Preservation Act. We've done lots of videos on SAPA. You can watch us on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page, Telegram, TikTok, Instagram. They're everywhere. But SAPA is really important. And the summary is just simply this. Joe Biden can't pass gun control, we hope, in the House right now. But he can continue to attack our gun rights through executive orders. And the thing there is that he is dependent upon Iowa cops to enforce those orders here in Iowa. What SAPA law says is this is Iowa. We're a sovereign state. We have our own cops funded by our own taxpayers who enforce Iowa laws passed by the Iowa General Assembly, which are undergirded by the Iowa State Constitution. The key theme here, Iowa, 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 Iowa. So if Joe Biden wants to have his executive order tyrannical gun control agendas enforced here in Iowa, he's free to have federal agents fly into Des Moines and do exactly that. But what SAPA law says is that Iowa cops will not help him do it. Iowa cops will only enforce Iowa laws when it comes to firearms, ammunition, and accessories. And that's their job. They work for Iowans, and Iowa is a special place. We prize freedom here. If we want to live under Joe Biden's tyranny, we could move to a blue state, but this is Iowa, and we want Iowa cops to enforce Iowa gun laws. The nice thing about SAPA is that besides protecting Iowans, gun rights, it also protects the cops because the overwhelming majority of Iowa cops love freedom. They love the Second Amendment, and they don't want to be put in a position to either A, have to violate their oath of office, or B, lose their job. SAPA protects them as well. Missouri has SAPA. The Supreme Court has upheld the idea of SAPA. It's time that Iowa moves this bill as well. Representative Jeff Shipley is the lead sponsor on this in the House. Now, guys, we need co-sponsors on that bill. Again, hit the link beneath the video and talk to your state rep and say, we want you to co-sponsor Representative Shipley's Second Amendment Preservation Act. That's bill number one. Bill number two, however, is very important as well because we have a growing problem with the issue of red flag gun seizures. Everyone knows what a red flag law is, I presume by now. It simply says that a liberal judge, and is there any other kind? That's my question. A liberal judge can order the confiscation of your firearms, the suspension of your gun rights before you've ever been convicted of a crime in a court of law. That's what a red flag law is. Almost anybody can file one against you, and when, not if, when the judge agrees that you might be dangerous, Your guns are gone before you've ever been charged or convicted of a crime in a court of law. It guts due process. It is anathema to us as free-loving Americans and Iowans, and Iowa should not have these. Now, we have stopped this bill every year going back to 2017. The difference, however, this year is that Joe Biden now has, thanks to Joni Ernst, who voted for this trash last year in the Senate, Joe Biden now has $750 million earmarked in a little piggy bank, earmarked to bribe states into passing red flag gun seizures. We all know there's been Republicans in Des Moines and across the country who have backed red flag laws for a long time. We've beat that down together very effectively for the last couple of years. But if we get a mass shooting somewhere in America this upcoming session, and if we get the optics of that combined with a DOJ liaison waving a check for $10 million, $20 million, $50 million, we don't know, to the state of Iowa, it's hard to know how they would react. And so we're also pushing legislation this year that would offensively ban red flag gun seizures here in Iowa. We're going to say that nobody may have their guns taken away unless they've been convicted in court of a felony crime or other crime that qualifies for someone to be a prohibited person. Absent that, we're not going to allow anybody to lose their firearms. We're going to put protection in here for gun owners so that if some department tries to violate this, like Iowa City Police Department, for example, we're going to have civil penalties built into this bill. So if some department violates this law and enforces a federal red flag gun seizure, let's say, or an executive action that mandates red flags or any sort of other red flag gun seizure law, then that impacted gun owner can take that agency into civil court for damages. That's a phenomenal bill. We must have it. We must send a message that we're not going to buckle under the bribe attempts of the DOJ and suspend due process and crush gun rights here in Des Moines in exchange for free money, which, of course, we all know it's not free at all. And thank you again, Joni Ernst, for siding with Chuck Schumer, Dianne Feinstein, the radical left, Chris Murphy, and helping make this possible. Shame on you. You knew better, Joni. At least one time you did here in Des Moines. Shame on you. That's bill number 2. And finally, bill number 3. Everybody in IGO Nation knows that we've got stand your ground law. Everyone watching this broadcast probably helped us pass this back in 2017 after we finally flipped the Senate. Unemployed Mike Gronsall, well, he's a lobbyist in Des Moines now, but kicked him out of the Senate, and we changed our entire state. So Iowa has stand your ground law. But I'm going to be honest with you. The draft was severely weakened in committee. We have videos on this way back then, which documents that. The problem with Iowa's current stand your ground law, well, it's great. There's no need to retreat. The problem with the law is it presumes that we are guilty of a crime if we have to use our firearm in a self-defense situation. What does that mean? Well, it means that the law presumes we're guilty, and you and I are forced to prove our innocence in court. But that's backwards. We believe in the idea that we're innocent until proven guilty. We're Americans. And we have that right in many cases, but not when it comes to our right of self-defense. Here in Iowa, if we use our firearm in a self-defense situation, the entire power of the state or the county attorney's office, depends on who's prosecuting the case, is arrayed against you. That's not how it should be. And that's not how it is in 16 other states where they've already realized this. And in those states, and the same as our bill would do here in Des Moines, the presumption is flipped. So we are presumed innocent in the wake of a use of force situation. And it's up to the state, up to the county attorney's office to prove our guilt in court. That's a huge deal. It's always been a huge deal, but now with a new Soros-backed county attorney running the law enforcement operations in Polk County, it's more important than ever because we have our very own Kim Gardner, the prosecutor who went after Mark McCloskey in Missouri a couple of years ago. We have our very own white woke prosecutor, like the guy who went after Kyle Rittenhouse in Wisconsin a year and a half ago. We have that same problem right here now. It's come right here into our home here in Des Moines. And so if there was ever a time to beef up and enhance stand your ground law, now is the time. Because right now, again, all the power lies with the state. So number one, we're going to shift that presumption so we're presumed innocent. Number two, the bill is going to specify that you cannot be arrested following a use of force situation unless there's probable cause that you broke the law. You might think, well, of course, but it's not as clear as it seems, because right now, in many cases, what happens is law enforcement arrives. There's someone laying there on the ground, shot, wounded, or dead, and you have your firearm. Hopefully it's back in your holster at that point. And in many cases, they're going to assume you're the bad guy. You shot him. We're going to hook you up, and we'll sort it out downtown, as they'd say on an old police movie, right? Well, the reality is what that does these days is it puts you in a lockup, and it allows investigators to go after you and interrogate you maybe for 6 hours, maybe for 12 hours, maybe for 18 hours. It's the same as a movie. You're not getting any sleep. You're getting no food. You're getting no water. You get the bright lights in your face and a bunch of angry investigators who are all asking you to do one thing: plead guilty to an offense. And too many times, gun owners who don't have the internal constitution or the budget to hire a high-powered lawyer buckle under that pressure. Mark McCloskey in Missouri didn't, because Mark McCloskey is wealthy. I know him. We're personal friends. Kyle Rittenhouse didn't, because he had a massive GoFundMe page and he raised millions and could hire phenomenal counsel. For the average Iowan, we don't have those luxuries. And so by stating in the code, you may not be arrested unless there's probable cause you broke the law, will protect Iowans from that pressure point. Number three, we're going to clarify, just to be very clear in the code, that stand your ground law also covers the threatened use of force. Kyle Rittenhouse shot and killed people, justifiably so. But Mark McCloskey did not. But yet, Mark McCloskey was charged with crimes. Iowa code needs to more clearly protect the justifiable threatened use of force. I mean, that's the goal anyway, right? Following a shooting, following an attack, we want the mere presentation of our firearm to end the attack. We want that thug to see, oh, that guy, that gal, she's armed. She's going to fight back. I can't proceed and run away. And when that happens, the law needs to protect us, not the criminal who calls in a complaint to 911. And it does happen, believe it or not. That's number three. Number four, this bill will clarify once and for all that stand your ground law here in Iowa can be invoked in a pre-trial immunity hearing. Right now, sadly, because of the way stand your ground law was weakened in 2017, the state Supreme Court was allowed to dictate how and when we can use stand your ground law as part of our defense. And here in Iowa, stand your ground law may only be brought into play on an appeal. What does that mean? Well, that means what it sounds like. It means you've been convicted of murder or attempted murder or involuntary manslaughter or some sort of a negligent homicide charge. You are branded now in the eyes of the law as a convicted killer. Your neighbors think you're a killer. Your children's friends, parents think you're a killer. Your coworkers think you're a killer. You probably lost your job, marriage hanging on by a thread. You're probably broke from legal fees. And now from this strong position, now you get to then mount an appeal, and hopefully you can invoke stand your ground law and be protected. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. This bill would clarify that your counsel has the option. You don't have to. If you don't think it's in your best interest, you don't have to. But if you want to, you can invoke stand your ground law in a pre-trial hearing. Well, that could save the entire deal. So instead of going through the hell on earth that Kyle Rittenhouse did, that Mark McCloskey did, your counsel can go before a judge and say, Your Honor, we admit my client shot this individual. Here's the reason why. And these days when everything's captured on video anyway, you may have a video which documents your innocence anyway. You can assert all these facts in court, say, Your Honor, my client's actions were clearly justifiable in light of Iowa's current self-defense laws. We ask this case be dismissed. And if that happens, you're done. You get to go home. You're free. before all the 18-month long or 12-month or 24-month long hell on earth of a criminal trial, you're free. Iowa law should protect innocent gun owners who are forced to use a firearm in a self-defense situation. And right now, it simply does not. So, guys, those are the big three bills we're working on this session. Representative Jeff Shipley has always been a leader in the fight for gun rights. He is leading these bills on our behalf. We're proud to fight alongside of Jeff. Guys, hit the links below. Take action. Make your voice heard. Join the fight in these various bills. Share our video online. And make sure and tell your state reps and your state senators, this is Iowa. We're a pro-gun state, and we've made major progress thanks to the work of IGO and our powerful network of members all across the state. But we're never content. We're never content. We're hungry in the fight for freedom. And we have a problem here in Iowa now, as we have across the country, which is an ever-growing Leviathan federal government, Joe Biden and the radical left, who consume more and more of our money, more and more of our time, and more of our gun rights through executive orders and bureaucratic processes. These two main bills, SAPA and banning red flag laws, are designed to protect us from that federal tyranny. That is the safeguards that we need, guys. Take action, be relentless, and join the fight today at joinigo.com.